Hey, welcome back to part 2 of the 2000 through 2006 GMC Chevy truck and SUV top install. In the first video, we had gotten the old top removed. We'd made one cut for the new top, go ahead and got it wrapped around back up on the bench. Now we're going to show you how to just finish up the install and make all the correct cuts. Now the first thing, before you set all the Velcro and get your seam line, the difference between a professional looking install just like OEM or some baggy fit is going to be the way the cover fits to the foam cushion. You can see now how this foam cushion kind of runs right here and how our double stitch is kind of hanging off to the side. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up underneath the cover. I'm going to be pushing this cover toward the outside to line up this line with that bolster. And then I'll hold it around and get that Velcro tight. That way this seam line right here is going to be running straight.
Well, on the inside of the frame, underneath this line, there's Velcro on the foam cushion. So when you're pushing the outer bolster cushion out, so you're physically pushing the cushion out and then pulling the cover around it to go ahead and set the Velcro. Now you can just push the Velcro in and it'll hook, but if you don't really kind of manipulate the cushion, pushing it out and pulling the cover over to set the anchor to anchor the Velcro, it won't look nearly as good.
Yep. As you can see there, I got that in there. This first seam set. You see how that really helped line it up to the outside of the bolster.
Now I'm going to start on this side here. We got the first part I'm going to do is where that the Velcro for the arm in this armrest cutout thing is here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull, wrap around tight, and go and get this Velcro set real good in here. I'll get my arm under here too. Basically makes this definition here that holds this flap in. Getting that Velcro set on the inside there. Now I'm going to do the same thing 100 in this side with this bolster. Put my hand under, I'm going to push the foam out, pull the leather in, and I'll feel for that Velcro underneath there and get it to set. There we go. See how everything's smooth, lined up, completely filled up nice. It's not pulled one way or the other.
Yep.
Velcro set good. Now we're going to come through and set the Velcro in the middle here. Now if the cover's looking weird or it's pulled too far one way or another, it's very common to undo the Velcro and start again. Pull the leather, kind of rub it, massage it, get it to where you need to go, stretch it one way or the other, and then re-anchor with the Velcro. That's where you can make your fine adjustments.
And obviously now the time's to do all that. Come down here on the middle seam.
If you happen to pull some of the Velcro off when you're originally taking the cover off, it's not the end of the world. Take you some spray adhesive. You can get a can of 3M spray adhesive at Home Depot, Lowe's, $3 or $4 a can. Spray that on there, reattach the Velcro to the foam, let it harden up. You'll be good to go. We pull them off all the time, but just you can go ahead and re-glue it. That way, everything's defined. If you don't have Velcro under there, it won't be tucked in real nice. It'll look really baggy.
All right, the last thing to do before we make the cuts is attach this bottom clip. That's definitely more of a pain with just doing by yourself. So if you got an extra set of hands around, this is the time when it's really important.
All right, we usually flip this on its back here.
Yep. And be careful when you're flipping it with a new cover. Make sure that there's nothing sitting down on your workbench that could cut that leather.
Make one more flip.
Yep. All right, see these little holes in the cardboard here and this flap that we undid earlier with that little black Christmas tree looking thing? We're going to hook those. And I just hold this flap over pretty tight and feel through. You can feel through the vinyl where that hole is. And so I'm just going to keep it there, and I'll just make just a little cut like that. Put that Christmas tree through there and back into that. Got the blade.
Okay.
All right, hand me one of those flat heads. We'll get this clip.
A lot of times you can take the flathead, hook it in this channel, so you can stretch this one down, and then you can come up with the bottom one with your hands
And also make sure that the seat heater wires for the top will run down from the top, as well as the airbag cord right here.
Cord right here. Make sure it's
just make sure they're on the outsides of the clip, so that it won't be interfering with the clip. Okay, right there. Good. Yep.
Yep.
A lot of times you'll hear a snap when those J clips come together, but if you don't hear the snap, it's not a big deal. You can just look and make sure it's hooked.
All right, the next cut we're going to make is for where the armrest goes back into the frame. On the side, you'll feel a little steel peg sticking out, and then about an inch or so down from it, there's a big hole. You can feel that hole. So we're going to basically cut out around that spot there. I'll usually poke in where that hole is there. I'll start cutting this out. There's nothing real precise about this because it's going to be completely covered up when you put the armrest back in the frame. There's a steel peg that rides in the guide line of here, so the armrest will stop at a certain point. And then here's the hole for the peg. I need to cut that out a little more. Alright, now that's cut out. You Hunter.
You can go ahead and put that armrest
You
on.
can see that'll line up there and push back in there.
Okay. And on the opposite side is going to be that airbag. If you have the airbag options, you'll be able to push through here and just feel that whole outline of this. And maybe that's kind of a rectangle shaped on the inside. On the inner rim of, like, just inside the outer rim here, there's going to be a little rectangle trough that's on that airbag. You can see that when you're doing the install. That's what we like to cut around. That way, you can cut it obviously smaller than what that whole plate size is, and then stretch the vinyl around. So I'm just going to come in. You can actually feel that smaller trough there. And I'm going to start here.
You can always cut a little more. So I'll start with I'll cut a little hole so I can get a visual through it, and then I usually start at least a ½ inch to the small side on the inside of the whole rim around of the whole airbag. Cut about a ½ inch trim cut around it.
Right there.
There's enough lip around the edge of that airbag for all the side to tuck in. I know the original had a plastic clip that goes around it. That clip really doesn't serve any purpose. Once you cut, as long as you make a cut smaller than what the airbag is, there's plenty of lip around it for it to tuck in. It'll never pull out.
There we go. And you see I cut that just on that inside right there. I just push it around.
Now when you're tucking it in, if you got any parts that are rippling up the back, there's a little more there's more of a lip along the front than on the back. If you got it where it has some ripples or anything, you can untuck the back and you can trim a little bit more off of it. Sometimes you got to do that, but if you're seeing a bunch up or anything, you can pull it out and trim a little bit off. So this one here's looking pretty good. Yep. All right,
go ahead and set this down in front.
Oh, yeah.
Make the cuts for the headrest and the seat belt. Okay, I'll get the seat belt first. Remember, we made that little cut at the beginning. You can actually look in here and see where these two anchors are.
There's little black pegs on the inside that line up will go inside of these. There's another type of configuration that's got little pieces about the end of a number 2 pencil, like the pencil end of an eraser, that the little prongs that come out. Sometimes the plastic piece doesn't have these two big deals. It's got 3 of those little pencil shaped prongs that'll snap in. and on the inside, on the cover, on the frame part, there'll be little holes that it snaps into. So if you don't see these, you get the little plastic studs. You make sure you trim around so you're exposing the holes that they snap into.
Cut a little more up here. And here's those two posts that fit into here.
Make sure your seatbelt's thrown through the bottom. Sometimes the seatbelt can get tucked on top of that metal bar, and it'll catch up on it. Make sure it's fed down through and it's completely clear of that.
All right, cut just a little bit underneath. Just finish this. Okay.
Yeah, you can see a better line up in there.
Yeah.
Yep. And it just snaps on.
And then again, you'll finish by running the end of the seat belt back onto that post using that 18mm nut. There you go.
Last two cuts we're going to cut on this top part for the headrest clips. You can push down, you can feel that square piece. I usually poke a hole right in the middle and cut a little square. Sometimes you can do this with razor blade if you want to. I usually just trim it with some scissors. And it doesn't have to be the exact size. I usually cut a little smaller because it will stretch around. Cut off.
And also you have the plastic caps that are going to cover up a little bit. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And all these cuts, just take your time, cut them small, because you can always cut more off. Grab these.
Okay. It'll stretch around. There we go. I'll do this one too.
Yep.
There's a hole right in the middle of that peg. When I start it, I'm pushing the blade of the scissors right down that hole. That way you know you're not off, you're not too far forward or back, you're going right down the middle of the peg, so you know you're squared up.
And then putting these plastic caps back on, you'll notice on one side of them would be a little hole. Match that hole up with the actual button on top of there.
Little chrome piece, that little chrome button.
Right here.
Because if you ever want to take your headrest off without taking these snaps off, you can take a little paper clip and or a push pin through that little hole, and it'll push the spring in so you can take the headrest off.
So again, that hole lined up with that button, and you'll hear it snap on.
That's it. Let's throw that to the side and put this back up on the bench here. Thanks for watching the install video for the 2000 through 2006 top cover for a Chevy GM Suburban Tahoe Yukon XL. For further information about how to install your armrest and how to recover the bottom, check us out on our website, or you can always give us a call at 214-710-2565.
And if you have any questions about leather replacement covers for your vehicle, please feel free to give us a call or visit our website at www.seatshop.com.